Back now on Triad Today. It's a pleasure to bring back a gentleman who's been here many times and a good friend of mine, and he brings a special guest here for the first time. Jay Pollard, director, if we can see, seated next to me, the esteemed president and CEO of the Winston-Salem Urban League, our friend Keith Granberry next to him, first-time visitor to Triad Today. Candace Edwards, who is a community service supportive manager of a housing authority, and she has done many things in her brief young lifetime and has many talents, but we welcome you today on behalf of the Housing Authority. How you doing?
Thank you.
Good to see you again, sir.
Happy birthday.
Well, see, now everybody's saying that. It's not true. I don't have birthdays. All right, let's, I tell you what, Candace, let me skip over our president here for a second and just ask you, what's the mission of the Housing Authority?
The mission of the Housing Authority is to provide clean, decent, safe, and sanitary housing for low-income families.
Keith, I'm going to say this delicately, and this is, of course, Candace is not responsible for any of this, but there was some negative publicity some time ago about the Housing Authority, and they're in the news and this kind of thing. There's some misconceptions out there. What are the misconceptions? How do we clear them up? And how is the authority doing, in your opinion, as an executive these days?
Well, I think Larry Woods is doing an incredible job in making sure that the people in the Housing Authority are well taken care of and getting the services that they need. The partnership that we put together with the Housing Authority is an example of the work that he's doing in that community. And that's looking at the employment of the people in the community, because at the end of the day, it's about the quality of life. And if you have a high quality of life, then you're able to take care of your families. And many people in the Housing Authority are unemployed. And Candace and Larry Woods are doing a great job at working with the Urban League to provide them with the training and development that they need in order to get the job so they can take care of their families. So I think the misconception is that people in Housing Authority aren't out there looking for jobs. They aren't doing the things that they need to do, and that's a misconception about people who live there.
I want to ask you, but that's a good answer. I appreciate that. I want to ask you all about the rate of unemployment, and it seems like, as I ask you that, I don't even know if we can keep up with it, because the jobs that we're losing them so fast in so many sectors of business and industry, and it's such a tough time for everybody. Do either of you have any handle on what the unemployment rate is in people who are in housing?
Unfortunately, the employment rate is rising everywhere. And here in our county, it's about 8.3. But in our housing communities, it can run as high as 75%. It's our goal to get that under a handle to about 50%, and we need that in order to make the grade with HUD.
Right. What you mentioned this partnership. I don't want to slough over this too much, because I've heard some exciting things about this partnership. Let's go into more detail. What is this partnership about between the two of you, and what is it trying to do?
Well, the partnership is one that provides the people in the community, the housing community, with quality service. The Housing Authority is in the business of housing, providing people with quality homes. We're in the business of providing them with employment, training, and development. You put those two together, and it gives people an opportunity to come in and look at people who are expert in certain fields. And I think the Housing Authority is doing a great job at looking at various organizations, putting those organizations together with their quality services and providing the residents with these services. And that's what the Urban League is doing in terms of this partnership.
Yeah, and you all have had these missions individually for years. Now, as the old fellow said, who thunk it up? I mean, who figured out that you should have this synergy and you guys should be working together more? I mean, was this a recent partnership? Or?
In reviewing our fiscal budgets, we've noticed that we're no longer being funded at 100%. Now it's somewhere around 86%. So when you've got a 14% gap and you're providing the same services that other community agencies already do, it just makes good business sense to find agencies that do the same thing and partner with them.
Right, and so Keith's group is going to try to help facilitate getting the training and getting people ready to get those jobs and apply for the jobs and do resumes and all this kind of thing. And I just think that's great. Let me ask you something. We didn't rehearse this or anything, but I'm curious. How can this partnership? We know it can benefit people who are in housing. What do you say to the folks that are not in housing and they say, well, wait a minute, what's this all about? How does this benefit the entire community if this partnership works? You go first, Candace.
I think it benefits the community because, on average, people that are not employed are using more social services, they're using welfare, they're using child care dollars, different things. But if they have more income, they're not as taxing on those systems
They're telling me I got to wrap up. Here's the Urban League logo on screen. Can we put up a number or anything very quickly on the Housing Authority? What would that be? Is there a website or a phone number?
I'm the Community and Supportive Services Manager. Anytime you need anything outside of housing, I can be reached at 336-727-8500. My extension is 216.
Well, I hope you all come back and talk more about this. Thanks, Keith.
Thanks,
Candace.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you then.